What innocent search ended up being NSFW. Period knitting. Apostrophe. What I wanted. Historic patterns. What I got. That chick who shoves wool up her vagina and then pulls it out and knits it. What the duck. Edit. I'm surprised to find out that it is not a kink thing. As a network engineer, when I google the error code in the device I now have to type out wireless access point instead of WAP. There's some LAN in this house. Need a router and a comp for this wireless access point. Docking. I intended to google the docking maneuvers of spaceships. What I got was not that thing. This reminds me of when I went looking for sounding. Meant as the way to measure the depth of the ocean. I was not ready for what I was about to find. Way back in the day, when Mrs. Doubtfire was in theaters, I got super hyped on Jump Around. I found out that the group was House of Pain, and I wanted to look them up on that fancy new internet. So I went to www.houseofpain.com. It was hardcore BDSM porn, and I went running and crying to my parents to tell them, so they wouldn't ground me for mistakenly going there. Looks like it's a powerlifting apparel site now. A friend of mine had a prolapsed disc in his back some years back. I wanted to learn about it, so I googled prolapse, and ended up checking the image results. That was the day I learned that your rectum can actually prolapse. I got 7 words into this post and went, "Ooh, I've got 3 words for you, walls fall out, don't yout a bit if you don't have at least a gallon of bleach to rinse your eyes out with later." Back in the 90s, my sister was trying to show my mom how the internet works. She said, "You can, for example, go to sites for any kind of band you like. So, Backstreet Boys, and types in BSB, or PSPFan, or something similar. Up pops the bare shaggy boys hairy porn site. And that's how my sister wasn't allowed to use the internet without supervision for 3 months. I feel this. Many years ago, I ordered my pet supplies from a website called Petopia.com. One missed key and I hit Petopia.com. OMG. This was the days when pop-ups would multiply from every porn site, and you had to shoot the dang computer to get rid of them. They multiplied faster than rabbits, and each was more perverse than the last. A buddy of mine used to call that a porn storm. Hairy Beaver Roman candles. Hairy Beaver is a firework brand. In middle school, I remember in the school library, my friend leaned over and told me to Google image search for Z11 and then go to the 14th results page, and there were a picture of boobs that the school censor didn't block. I called bullshit, but sure enough, there were boobs on page 14. Edit. It was 18 years ago. Those glorious boobs are gone from page 14. When the internet was fairly new, my dad decided to print out coloring pages for my daughter. He searched for Barbie pictures and ended up with nudes of the Barbie twins. He was embarrassed, but warned the whole family about his mistake. I wanted to go the American Girl doll website as a child. My dad typed in Americangirls.com instead of Americangirl.com, which was a huge mistake. He's pretty tech savvy, so he then blocked porn websites on our Wi-Fi well into when I was in college. Who knew a small S could make such a difference? Seems American Girl has now bought that domain. Tried it and it redirects to Americangirl.com. I was writing an essay about different types of oil, including vegetable oil, as a lubrication in machinery, and why some work and others don't. So I googled vegetable oil lubrication. I learned a lot, but nothing I could use for my essay. 1. Wait for it to rain. 2. Cover yourself in vegetable oil lubrication. My friend went to a library to research sex discrimination before computers were widely available. She chose a computer for blind people which suddenly said very loudly, "You typed in the keyword sex. There are over 70,000 results for your keyword sex. If you want to filter results for the keyword sex." And she quickly pressed ESC, but it was too late. Everyone around looked at her as if she was a pervert. Blind person here. I can just imagine the horror and mortification, because I know the kind of computer you mean. I'm crying. I had an employee who was an architect student, and I let her work on her schoolwork during the day when work was slow. One day she wanted to show me a cool new material she had seen at her class. She couldn't remember the name of it, and Google image searched hard dark ebony wood to show me. I laughed my ass off. Surprisingly SFW results for that. Actually, wife and I were joking about eating chicken noodles, which then led to chicken nudes. I searched for turkey nudes next and forgot Turkey was a country. Okay, I think chicken nudes is NSFW too. That's going to haunt me. Isabel Animal Crossing. When I was a child, I wanted to practice my drawing skills by drawing some Inuyasha pictures. I hopped on the family PC and hit up the Google. I didn't know how to spell Inuyasha, and I have no idea what I did spell, but it was all internet porn. I had never seen porn before. That's when a young Enochchuck's life changed forever. These days, googling any anime character inevitably leads to porn anyway. I had a report to do on Lucy when I was in like 4th grade or something. It's an old Australopithecus fossil. Well, I Google searched that shit with my friend at his house and found some boobs. We did click on the boobs, but quickly got back to our intended study. Well, my mom got a call from his mom later that night freaking out about us looking at porn, and my explanation did not hold any water at all. So I was grounded. I'm still kinda salty to this day and feel like I was set up. Once my little cousin borrowed my laptop for a project. Later when I was casually scrolling through my history for a link, there was a Google search for boobs and then big boobs. Guess the little man wasn't satisfied by the former search. At least he wasn't the 12-year-old kid who googled sexy 16-year-olds on his dad's work computer. My stepson did that on our iPad. I told him googling 13-year-old sex is not something I should have in my search history. Wasn't my work computer, and thankfully, even if it was him, the person who would deal with that. I looked up animated dog images and one had a dick. I was doing research on sex chromosome disorders. Pro tip, when googling 30th females, maybe include the word chromosomes in there somewhere. I was taking a graphic arts class in middle school and searched for beach on Google Images. I ended up with pictures of naked men on the beach. Well, it was graphic. Forgot to type the R in Gary Oldman's name one time. I once searched Pandora's box at work. I was trying to find a book and no porn, so much porn. I didn't get fired though, thank God. My grandmother had a small mammal living in her backyard, and I was trying to help her figure out what it was. I was using Google image search and decided to look for pics of beavers. Well, the first result was not the kind of beaver we were talking about, nor was it something you want to pop up with your grandmother looking over your shoulder. Luckily she's pretty laid back. We laughed our asses off for 5 minutes before searching beaver animal. I know I'm late, but I have the best story for this one. For both people who end up reading it. 6th grade. Mormon me is supposed to be doing a 5-paragraph research paper on some shit or another. Is super bored. At the time, my favorite thing to daydream about was a magically creature I made up that was basically just a ball of fur with 2 paws. Like a snuggly Kirby, perhaps. Looking for further fuel for this magical creature I imagine, and bored of the essay I Google. Cute furry balls. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching this video. Leave your thoughts in the comments below.